Hey guys, Josie with Queen My Pawn here, and I'm here to talk about the Giuoco piano and using the pin again, but let's see how it correctly be used. So the game usually starts c4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, and d3, right? As we've already discussed, this is the best if white really wants to play knight g5. But of course, that always gives black time to play something like d6. And knight to g5 is now prevented with knight h6. So maybe they might try something like this. Knight c3, bringing out another piece, which is normal. And then knight to f6. Now they play bishop g5. By the way, this move order can also be reached more commonly if if black plays knight f6, which is more normal, preparing castling. Knight c3, d6, bishop g5. Now, this does pin the knight, but it's not that big of a deal because black hasn't castled. Of course, black castling would be like the worst move ever, like we've seen in the first video. That's really bad, you know. The knight's pinned and it can't move. And pressure's put, and immediately white has the advantage because of the initiative. So instead of castling, black should play something like, look, okay? One of the things, not just in chess, but in life, is you have got to prevent things from happening before they spiral out of control. It's like, you got to do your homework before you play video games, because if all you do is play video games, then what's going to end up happening is you're going to get bad grades. And you're going to have to deal with a big mess after that. So let's do our homework and play h6, getting rid of the pin. So we're doing our homework by getting rid of the pin. Once the pin is gone, we can play Roblox or whatever game it is. So the bishop might take the knight, sure. The pin's gone now, but they might counterattack with knight d5. Now, find the best move, and I'll give you 3 seconds to pause the video. Did you find queen to d8? The problem is there's two threats. The knight's going to take your queen, and the knight's going to take on c7. So it's a fork. Now, if you move one away or you defend one, like something like king to d8, then they just take your queen. And if you move the queen away to g6, they take your pawn. So there's got to be some way to stop both threats because forks are dangerous. And there is with queen to d8. Now, the queen defends c7. And even though the queen had to move back, you still have the bishop here. So let's move back. Instead of white giving up the bishop here, white may try to keep the pin. But of course, we still do our homework and we play g5. Most people would say, or most people that haven't seen this position would say, oh, that's weakening the king side. Why would you do such a horrible thing? Well, that would be true. And that is true if, and it's not dangerous. That's what I mean to say. It's true, but it's not dangerous because we're not castled. We're never going to castle this way in this position. They have to move the bishop back. But there is something else that's interesting. And I'm going to go over it in the next video, is the interesting sacrifice knight takes g5. But we'll learn in the next video what to do in that position. So they play bishop g3. And now we have space on the king side. We haven't castled this way. And we are able to have the initiative later on. In fact, we can actually do it right now with bishop g4. Now they are the one that's pinned. They might play h3 and they might try to copy us, but unfortunately, it doesn't work out. They can't play g4 in this position because they blocked it with their bishop. So next, we're going to play knight to d4, and we're going to have the better position instantly. Maybe they play queen d2 immediately, but then we can actually take it. And we instantly get the initiative. They have to go back and defend, and they can't castle queenside right now. So definitely that's a better position. Now, in the next video, I'll show you what the best. By the way, before we go on, always remember that if white tries to pin you with bishop g5, maybe you can even entice him or make lure him to do that. If you're not castled, h6 and g5 is always a good idea. Same thing for white. Like I saw in one of my students' games, he got this position, and he played d6, which is cool. Knight of 6 is also cool, and then castle. Now, instantly, the best move in this position is bishop to g4, pinning. And look, they're castled. That's really bad. They can try to do this, h3 and g4, doing their homework and breaking the pin. The problem is this king is weak now. It's weaker than it should be. And after we castle, we can get a pretty good game for their king side is weaker. So also notice that the only defender of this king side is the knight. So I would definitely try to get rid of that knight. They might, the point is you're playing knight d4 to get rid of that knight. And all that extra space here is weak if there's no one there to watch over it. The point is that knight c3 is to play knight e2. Like, let's say I'm passing the move here, okay? If they play knight to e2 here, you can't really play this because they just take with this knight instead, and they still got the defender. So that's why you play this move immediately. They might play bishop e3. You take the knight. Now they got a bishop defending, but notice that this is not really a threat because you still got a bishop here to defend. And automatically bishop b6. They play knight d5. You keep developing. d7. Even queen d7 is possible here, but I like to bring my knights out. And they might take the knight with the bishop, but they just gave up their centralized knight, and now you have an open file. I don't even know if I would castle in this position. The black king looks perfectly safe, and you got a bishop here. If h4, threatening h5, trapping your bishop, you just play h5. And this looks tasty if you can break open the middle. I wouldn't break open the middle yet though because of the black king. Maybe queen d7 is the best move here, and then queen to g4, attacking this pawn. You can move the rook here even. At some point, the king may even move to e7 because the bishop's defending this pawn. So you don't even need to castle in this position. So that's all I have to say about this. About this beautiful pin. It's a very, very nice pin. So in the next video, this is what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss knight of 6, knight c3, d6, bishop g5, not castle, sorry. h6, bishop h4, g5, knight takes. So this is going to be the topic of the next video. Thank you for watching.